Hello, today I'm here to show you a brief demonstration of how to mix and pour the AeroMarine Silicone RTV rubber compound. We have here the rubber compound and the catalyst, the purple catalyst. We also have our form. For my forms, I like to use aluminum blocks that are just hot glued together. They are very convenient. And we also have mold release, which I personally like. It's not always necessary, but it's just a personal preference. We also have a scale and a cup, which will be mixing the rubber in. Now, as the actual mixing media, I really like chopsticks because, well, they're readily available, and two of them really allow you to work with something that is inherently gooey and not always the easiest to get off of things or out of the cup. So the first thing I always do when starting to work with this product is I take the catalyst and I shake it because it does tend to settle out. So, you know, just maybe 10 seconds of shaking before each use. Next, of course, turn on the scale. Now, for the mold that I'm doing, I will be using 100 grams of the rubber, and of course this is a 10-to-1 ratio, so I will be using about 100 grams of the rubber and about 10 grams of the catalyst. I will now proceed to pour out roughly 100 grams of rubber. So that's 107. That was pretty good. Okay, close that. Give this another shake. So what I'm going to do now, this is 107 grams. So roughly I will do about 10.7 grams of the catalyst. As you see, I hit the tare button to zero out the scale and give it a good squirt. A little, oh crap, spilled a little. Yeah, this stuff is very thin and gets all over the place. So that'll be good enough. I will now proceed to mix it, and for this volume, I usually spend, I don't know, a good 3 to 5 minutes mixing it just to make sure it's completely mixed. The rubber is, like I said, very viscous. The catalyst is very thin, so initially you want to make sure that you don't splash the catalyst around. Kind of, I don't know, similar to mixing a cake batter, something like that. But just look at the sides of the cup. This is one reason I use these disposable plastic cups. You can really see the sides of the mix and see if you're getting a homogeneous mixture. So I will keep mixing this for a couple minutes just to make sure it's nice and smooth and even, really getting down into the bottom. And that looks pretty good. So at this point, I have already sprayed the mold release into my mold, and I will simply start pouring. As you can see, even though this stuff is thick, it really does fill in tiny cracks and crevices, and it picks up very fine detail very well. So don't let the viscosity fool you. It can be a little tricky to work with in that you want to be careful and get it where you intend, because it will get on everything. So that's pretty much it. You can see the bubbles forming on the surface. They will come up, bubble up, and dissipate. So that's not too much to worry about. If it is an issue for you, another trick that I picked up is simply gently blowing across the surface. Just the CO2 in your breath tends to break up the bubbles. So anyway, for what I'm doing, it's not really an issue. But for the purposes of your mold, you may need something with a finer surface. Anyway, at this point, I usually let the mold sit for about 24 hours before doing anything with it. But that is the basic process for using the AeroMarine Silicone RTV rubber. Thank you very much.